This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, starting at verse 9. It says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by." I want to first give all acknowledgement to Yahweh Bashim El Shai, double honors to the men that I learned this truth from, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Barakatham to the hopefully elect, and just raising a banner, dealing with this article, that I came across, where it says Iran vows Soleimani revenge as first anniversary of assassination looms. All right, and if you may or may not know, beginning of this year, General, this guy General Soleimani, being assassinated, which was a pretty much a hit set up by Trump. All right, Trump had gotten this guy killed off, and ever since then, you've been having these talks about like the scriptures say, the wars and rumors of wars. All right, because throughout this year, Iran has been vowing retaliation. All right, and being that we're coming into the 1 year anniversary. All right, just one of those things, man. Sitting back and waiting to see on how this plays out. So I'm gonna get into this article, and Lord's will, because as you may know, all right, this is another one of those videos, man. For whatever reason, the app stops recording, and I see that other brothers, some of the elders that I watch, are having the same problem. So I'll try to do this this video a few times, so hopefully it goes through this time. Nevertheless, we'll see. But so reading on, it says Iranian leaders have maintained a drumbeat of threats as the first anniversary of the assassination of top commander Major General Qasem Soleimani approaches, amid continued tension with President Donald Trump's administration in its final weeks. Soleimani, a national hero, confidential to Supreme Leader, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that name. It says, and widely considered the second most powerful figure in the regime, was killed in an American drone strike on January 3rd this year. Iran is prepping to mark the anniversary as regime leaders continue to vow revenge against the U.S. Iranian forces responded to the strike in January, with ballistic missile attacks on Iraqi military bases housing American troops, wounding more than 100. But Iranian officials have promised more retaliation. All right. Again, as you may or may not know, all right, this whole back and forth that's been going on between America and Iran, these different bombings near these U.S. embassies and things of that nature, all right? Because, again, one of the major prophecies that we're looking out for, aside from the Mark of the Beast, which is the RFID chip, is World War III, all right? Because from there, we'll usher in the second coming of Yahweh Shai, which means our deliverance, all right? So, reading on, and make sure this thing's still recording. It says President Hussam Rouhani told reporters Wednesday the assassination had turned Soleimani from a national hero to an internal hero. Rouhani name-checked Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as the main perpetrators of the strike and said our nation will not give up on them. Tasnim News Agency reported it is the right of the people to take revenge. He added, U.S.-Iran tensions are already running high as they have for much of Trump's presidency. Trump lost the presidential election and will leave office next month, but during the transition period has placed even harsher sanctions on Iran and warned he will respond aggressively to any Iranian aggression. Slaggy. Salakia. I'll read that last passage again. It says, U.S.-Iran tensions are already running high, as they have for much of Trump's presidency. Trump lost the presidential election and will leave office next month, but during the transition period has placed even harsher sanctions on Iran and warned he will respond aggressively to any Iranian aggression. Goes on to say, top nuclear scientist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh was killed in November, reportedly in an Israeli operation outside Tehran. The regime has accused the U.S. of complicity, vowed vengeance, and expanded its nuclear program in response. All right, because that's another event that took place. All right, the bombing of this top nuclear scientist back in November, which is no coincidence. This guy, Mike Pompeo, if I'm not mistaken, as well as a few others, they went over there to Israel for some type of meeting, secret meeting or whatever. And not soon after that, or not long after that, this guy, this top nuclear scientist, was assassinated. All right, and they're pointing the blame at Israel. All right, and they believe that America has something to do with it as well. All right. So because again, being that America has close ties with Israel. All right, and the scriptures say, when you go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All right. And again, not knowing how these things are going to pop off, but one way or the other, all right, the prophecy states that when it talks about the least of the flock, it's referring to Israel, all right, because that little landmass of Israel, basically being the root of all the issues and the problems that's going on over there in the Middle East, all right. And like I said, being that America has close ties with Israel, and being that Israel and Iran, they've been having all this beef, all right, as well as tensions with Iran and America, all right. I mean, it's possible that Iran may do something to Israel to get America involved, all right. Because like I said, like I just read here, the least of the flock shall draw them out, which again, that's going into Israel is going to be the reason America is getting. Israel is going to be the reason America gets drawn into World War III and ultimately destroyed. All right. And again, so yeah, Slovakia, but so yeah, so concerning this assassination, again, going back to this guy, the nuclear scientist, all right, because all hands point the blame is being put on Israel, all right, and they're suspecting that America had something to do with it as well, because like I said, with this guy Mike Pompeo and a few other of those guys that went over there, had some type of secret meeting or whatever, all right, and being that America already had Trump ordered the assassination of this guy, General Soleimani, all right, and they already had tensions concerning that, all right, again, because the Lord, at the end of the day, he's stirring things up and getting things brewed up for World War III. Let me get this real quick in Isaiah 13 and starting at verse 1. It says, "The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles." All right, I'm gonna jump down to verse 4, and that banner, all right, it's being lifted up. All right, again, because throughout this year, man, you've had all this talk about World War III, the wars or rumors of wars. All right, all this rising tensions between all these different nations and countries and whatnot. All right, jumping down to verse 4, says, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle," because ultimately it's Yahweh Shemel Shai, stirring things up and putting the thoughts into the minds of these different kings and leaders and whatnot. All right, stirring things up, to His will. All right, because all these leaders and kings and whatnot, they're all puppets. All right, so the Lord is putting these thoughts into the minds of these different leaders and whatnot, for His will, and more so getting things geared up for World War III. All right, so this is what's being prepared. I'm gonna go ahead and read verse 5. It says, "They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of His indignation to destroy the whole land." Yeah, because ultimately, you're gonna have America as well as Israel, get completely obliterated, via ICBM missiles. All right, but again, because Israel, all right, the least of the flock is going to be the reason America gets drawn out into World War III and ultimately destroyed. Because again, with the height of World War III, man, when it's all said and done, that's going to usher in our deliverance, and the second coming of Yahweh Shai. All right, so this is why, again, this is something that we're anticipating, and because this, one way or the other, man, this thing is gonna pop off. Let me get this real quick. What is that? Jeremiah 49:14. Jeremiah 49:14. It says, "I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together, and come against her, and rise up to the battle." That's actually not what I wanted, but that's actually ties in. Because again, just dealing with these wars and rumors of war. All right, like I said, Iran has been vowing throughout the year. They've been, constantly mentioning how they're going to retaliate, and being that we're coming up to the 1 year mark since this guy, the General Soleimani, has been assassinated. All right, again, we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. But one way or the other, all right, things are going to pop off. I believe what I wanted was Jeremiah 51. Because, time in and time out, man, beginning with the apostles and elders, they've been talking about World War III, these wars and rumors of wars. I think this is it. Let me see if this is it. Jeremiah 51 and 46. Yep. It says, Jeremiah 51 and 46, it says, "Unless your heart faint and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land, a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler." So again, because year after year, again, beginning with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, they've been talking about these wars or rumors of wars. All right, and it may seem like nothing is happening, nothing's taking place. All right, but eventually it will get to a point where it's going to be all out war and all out chaos in these things. All right, you're going to have Iran and those different Arab nations or whatnot pretty much start invading Israel. All right, they might come against Israel some way, shape, or form. They're going to come against Israel, which is going to cause America to get involved. All right, America is going to start getting invaded and getting touched. All right, I did a video the other day about how concerning that the bombing in Nashville, Tennessee. All right, that's just light work compared to what's going to start taking place in this land of unwalled villages. All right, because America's going to start getting touched. All right, and again, ultimately, this place is going to be destroyed. You know, but let me get this and get into the prophecy concerning World War III. Iran and these different nations or whatnot. Ezekiel 38 and starting at verse 1, it says, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." Now, this is concerning Russia. All right, because they're the current inhabitants of the land of Magog right now. All right, it says, "And say, thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." Yeah, because things are going to get hot, and these nations might try to come together to diffuse the situation. All right, but again, because ultimately that's not in the plans. That's not in the will of Yahweh Bashim El Shai. All right, because like I said, these nations, things might get hot and it might get to a point, but these nations, they might want peace. They might want to calm things down or whatever. They might come together and make peace treaties or whatever the case may be. But again, that goes against the will of Yahweh Bashim El Shai, because ultimately he's putting thoughts into the minds of these different leaders and whatnot. All right, and concerning Russia, all right, he's going to put that old Soviet Union spirit back into those Russians. All right, because eventually they're gonna say the hell with all that. They're gonna say the hell with America, and eventually they're gonna be the main the main reason. They're gonna be the main ones. Sluggers. Sounds like someone's knocking on my door, but Russia's gonna be the main reason. The main people, the main nation shooting nuclear missiles over here. Again, ultimately destroying this place. All right. But reading on, it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them all. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Yeah, because again, being that America and Israel, they have close ties. All right. America backs Israel, and because also on another note, it's believed that this guy Mike Pompeo and those other guys that went over there for that secret meeting or whatever, all right, it's believed that that was strategically set up, that was done on purpose to because basically if Joe Biden gets into office, basically he's going to be doing business with the Iranians, which the Israelis, they don't want that. All right. So, because Israel's basically trying to force America's hand to, get involved with these things before Trump leaves office. All right. That it's believed that's what the plan was. All right. Because if Iran, if they get a hold of certain missiles and things of that nature, man, it's not going to be good for Israel. So Israel needs America. All right. They're pretty much the America's pretty much the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the cavalry they need for Israel. All right. But again, with that being said, as like America backs Israel, Russia is backed by they're backing Iran. So you see how this ties in, because again, once if Iran and Israel start going at it, it's going to cause it's going to cause America to get involved, which in return, that's going to cause Russia to get involved. All right, because again, Russia's backing Iran as well as those other countries like Turkey, all those other countries out there. All right, Russia's pretty much a big brother to these other to those other nations out there. All right. Um, Reading verse 6, it says, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, to the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Yeah, because again, Russia is a guard. He's backing all these other nations, Iran, Turkey, and all these other nations. All right. So again, because once these little nations start going at it, it's going to cause the big brothers, the big bros, the heavy hitters to get involved. All right. Which again, because again, eventually, man, it's these things. It's not going to be a rumor anymore. Eventually, man, it's going to be all guns blazing, and it's going to be a full blown war. Eventually, it will get to that point. Somehow, some way, however this plays out, we don't know how it's going to play out. This is why we sit back and continue to watch, look out for these things, because again, man, with the coming of World War III, man, that ushers in the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai, and with that comes our deliverance. So we want these things to, to go on. We want these things to hurry up and come to pass, because we're tired of being here, man. We're tired of America, man. This place is long overdue for judgment. All right. And that is the ultimate judgment for America. Babylon the Great is, ICBM nuclear missile fire, all right, nuclear warfare. So this is what's brewing up. Iran is still vowing, they're still vowing retaliation. Let me get this in Mark 24. Mark 20, Matthew's 24. Matthew's 24 and starting at 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And again, we've been hearing about all these wars and rumors of wars throughout this year, man. This whole year, this year has been a heavy year concerning prophecy. All right, which the elder apostle Tahar deemed this year the year of prophecy. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, because again, before it's all said and done, man, we still the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip still has to be implemented, which that's right around the corner. All right, there's a lot of information concerning this C virus vaccine, all right, and how it ties into the medical records and with the passes, the C passes and things of that nature, all right, certain documents and things of that nature, all right, so this thing, man, is more and more, man, it's these things are coming to pass, man. All right, this is our deliverance, man. It's right around the corner, man. It's damn near at the front doorstep, man. So again, man, just concerning this, lifting up the banner, we'll see how this plays out, man. Oh, okay. Thought I stopped. So yeah, man, we're gonna see how this plays out, man. Lord's will, man. 2021, this is the year. A year of prophecy 2.0, as I've been saying lately. But nevertheless, hopefully this was edifying. Once again, I'm gonna give all credit to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to my teachers, starting with the apostles and others of great millstone. And until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.